Hello everyone, today I am going to show you how to make my favorite bath bomb, and that's the Cupcake bath bomb. It's lots of fun for kids. They're a little bit more difficult to make because there's more steps involved, but bottom line, they love them, I love them. Let's go. So your first ingredient is going to be, we're going to mix the dry ingredients first, and it's a 2-to-1 ratio with baking soda. So you want 1 cup of baking soda, and then a half a cup of Epsom salts, a half cup of cornstarch, and a half a cup of citric acid. And we just kind of blend that together. Okay, so now we're going to add the wet ingredients. And I've already gone ahead and added them here. So this is 2 tablespoons of a carrier oil. What I use is sweet almond oil, so I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons, and you can already hear that sizzling. And I always make a huge mess when I'm doing this. Probably you can avoid that. So you just stir it up. You want to stir it really good. And I always just kind of, you have to go by the feel, and it's kind of a give and take. I've screwed up a lot of batches. But what you want is like a kind of like a wet sand consistency. So this is definitely not enough of the carrier oil. So I'll add 1 more tablespoon. You don't want to get it too wet, otherwise it'll start activating right away. And you definitely don't want that. I'm actually going to add another little bit. Like I said, it's kind of like a hit and miss with this. And you can see it's getting a little bit thicker. I'll try that again. And it's getting there. It's almost staying together. But I'm going to add the last spoonful here. And when you get to this stage, if you need a little bit more wet ingredients, you can either add water, or some people use witch hazel, which I have done in the past, and it's good. It's just a little bit more expensive again to use. And that's staying together with a good consistency there. So our wet ingredients are done. Okay, now the fun part. I'm going to add the coloring. You can buy coloring. Some people use food coloring. I don't like using that. You can use specific colorant for soaps, which is really good. So for these cupcakes, I'm going to do, this is purple, yellow, and blue. So what I do is divide that up. I should have actual bowls that match, but what are you gonna do? So I'm just gonna use just a handful each, and all you have to do is drop it in. I use quite a few drops with these ones because kids, it makes it really bright and fun for the kids. So you're gonna mix that all up. And that's good. So that's going to be the blue. And now I'm going to do the yellow. Again, quite a few drops just to make it. It will darken as it's setting, but you still want to make it nice and bright. And it doesn't stain the kids or the bathtub or anything like that, don't worry. At least I haven't heard it has. Yellow, I need a little bit more. And again, for the coloring, you can get soap colors at Michael's, Bulk Barn, any of those places. So that's the yellow. And now we're going to do the purple. And you can see it kind of activates it because it's moist. We don't want too much activation on these because then you're bath bombs are going to start expanding before the actual settle. Like this. Ooh, I love making a mess. Okay, so one last thing we have to do before putting them in the molds is add our scents. So for kids, I like to use fruity smells. So I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon of, well, I'll just do these. You don't need that much scent. It's going to go kind of, it'll go a while. So this is lime. And that doesn't take much to really get that together. This one is going to be orange. And again, together these smell super good. Super good. And last I'm going to use is lemon or the yellow. I'm going to put a little bit more in this bowl. And the molds that I use, these are the silicone baking molds, and you can get them pretty much everywhere. They're really good for shape, but I also put them in an actual tin just so that I have them ready. And for the kids ones, I like to put these little capsules in, and what happens is once the cake bomb actually starts, actually at the end of it fizzling, this is left in the bathtub and it expands and turns into a little toy for the kids. So good times. So basically it's all about layering right now. So I will go like this and blue, blue. It's super easy and super messy when you want it to be. And you push that down because you want to make sure it's good and tight in there. I'm going to put a little bit more of this in here. Make it nice and tight. I'm going to add the capsules, so I'll just push. You don't have to do anything. You don't even really have to push them in because they will end up staying in once you add that last layer. To add some blue on top. If you use up one of your colors, just makes it another layer of color for the kids. And you don't want to have to throw that out. Okay. So, these are my cupcake bath bombs. And if you want to be really fun for the kids, I'd like to add some glitter because, well, I'm a glitter girl. What am I going to do? So I'm going to add a little bit of glitter on the top. Again, I am a 5-year-old at heart, so I tend to like these. A little bit more fun. And voila! Now these are going to go in the fridge and they're going to sit overnight.